Okay, so in this video I just want to give you an overview of what JavaScript is and what exactly JavaScript can do. So first of all, let's take a look at what is JavaScript. And JavaScript is a programming language which we have traditionally used to make web pages interactive. When you're browsing a website and things such as a pop-up box appear, or if you hover over a menu and you get a drop-down with different menu links, and basically a lot of the features which happen without refreshing the page, that's all JavaScript. Okay, and JavaScript can also be used to create standalone applications. So traditionally we've used JavaScript in web browsers and on websites, and now JavaScript is becoming more and more popular and we're finding more uses. JavaScript is now being used to create full applications, both the front and the back end. So nowadays it's really easy to make a full stack application with just knowing one programming language. So I mentioned that JavaScript is used to make web pages interactive, and the reason that can happen is because JavaScript is built into and runs on all the major browsers, and JavaScript even works when the user is offline. And the fact that JavaScript is built into the major browsers and is a default scripting language for web browsers means that JavaScript is here to stay, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere soon. Okay, so the Java programming language is a completely separate language and is not related to JavaScript. So that's the basics of JavaScript, and now let's take a look at what JavaScript can do. Okay, so we know that JavaScript can make web pages interactive, and it can also change the HTML and CSS elements on a web page. So it can change the colors, it can change the font sizes, it can change the text upon a click, various things like that. And this is what's called manipulating the DOM. And we'll look at the DOM more later on in this course. But for now, just understand that JavaScript can change elements on a web page. And that's exactly what we're doing now with this demonstration. We're manipulating the DOM by clicking on a button on the left, which is adding some text into an empty paragraph tag. So next. Okay, so JavaScript can also validate data. So as an example, if you fill in a form with your name and address, JavaScript can check that the information you provide is correct, such as it can check that there's no letters in a phone number. It can check if your email address is correctly formatted before it gets submitted. And it can even restrict how many characters is entered in a text field. And this is all done in the browser without any help from the server. Okay, so JavaScript can also be used to create full stack applications. So by full stack we mean the front end, which the user can see and interact with, and also the server side, which is the back end of the application. So historically JavaScript has just been used on the front end in the browser, but now more and more applications are being wrote with JavaScript for the full stack, thanks to Node.js. So as well as websites and applications, JavaScript is also popular for creating cross-platform games. So you can write a game once in JavaScript and use something such as PhoneGap to deploy your game to different devices such as Android or iOS. We can use JavaScript to patch holes in browser support, so we can provide polyfills and feature detection to check if an older browser supports a certain feature. And if it doesn't, we can provide an alternative way of dealing with that. JavaScript and HTML5 work hand in hand, and JavaScript powers a lot of the new HTML5 features, such as the canvas. And of course, much more. JavaScript is becoming so popular now that there's new uses being created every day. And there's also new libraries and frameworks being created all the time for JavaScript. So it really is a great skill to have. So thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the course.